But they
No exes for one day. Are you ready? You never to you really again. Oh, because I'm like tonight. You trying to sleep with the data. Stay out here, living life. Nobody cares who we got tomorrow. And this thing I like.
no, I'm gonna continue later. Next time. All right.
All right, it is 1 o'clock. So, like I said a minute ago, y'all can thank Tasbina for this. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're totally not the only one that asks about this class. You're just the latest and the greatest, so I put it on. So listen, seller net sheet. Who has actually created one? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. All right. They are definitely came back. I mean, some people never got away from doing them. They would always do it just because that number was big and sexy for the sellers because of all the equity that people have in their home. Some people don't indulge at all. Some people like, I stay away from that. I just give them an estimate. You know, it just depends on who you talk to. You got to know the seller. You got to know your audience. So how many of you guys familiar with the DISC assessment? DISC, right? It's like a personality assessment. So a D is a driver, a I is forget what it stands for, but it's one, the I is someone that's like a people person or whatever. Then the S is real, like lovey-dovey type of person, right? Not in the sense of romance, but in the sense of they care a lot, right? And then a C is a person that likes to see every detail. They're real detail oriented. You can't just tell me a price. I need to know the breakdown. I need to know that. So there's two, it's almost split in half. The people that would more than likely be looking for estimated net sheet is a S or C personality type. Those people naturally need to see it. You got to slow down with them. They want to see it. A D or an I person, just tell me how much I'm going to net. Tell me what I'm paying you. And what's my bottom line? I'm good to go. List my house. Tell me what we need to do, right? So if you are not familiar, we do those classes typically once or twice a year on DISC assessment. If not, just kind of Google it and take an assessment yourself. It'll break down what that is and start to learn so you know who you're dealing with. A lot of you guys was just in the class that we just had with Rodney with the round table, right? And a lot of people was coming with different scenarios and things of that nature. And you were getting broad answers and stuff, but a lot of that, guys, depend on what? The personality of the person that you're dealing with. To truly get the honest answer, you have to know who you're dealing with and what their personality, because we talked a lot about nurturing and all of those different things and follow up, right? If I'm a high D personality type, I just want to know the bottom line, get to it, send me some houses, how much it's gonna be, like what do we need to bid, whatever. Same thing with listing my house. So if you come at me with all these different choices, you're gonna be confusing the crap out of me, and I'm gonna be like, get out of here. Like seriously, I'm not gonna like you. So I'm telling you, so one of the best things you can do is learn this. All right, so I'm plugging another class with this, but it's so real. Like seriously, you need to know, and you know who you, because it gives you a method to know who you're dealing with, so you know how to approach them. All right, and that's huge when it comes to, you know, the way that you present buyer brokerage agreements, the way that you present net seller sheets, the way that you handle your clients, totally different. So let's dive into the net seller sheet, and I think we're gonna need more copy. Nicole, can you help me? Or you still getting something together? If not, he can do it.
I need my glasses, so I had to get.
All right, just make like, tell her to get 15 in case you know. I don't want you to be charged. All right. So guys, take one of these and pass it around. This is a seller's net sheet, and we're gonna do one today. So if you don't have a pen, make sure that you get one. We're going to actually fill out a net seller sheet. And while she's making those copies, I saw some hands that said that you guys have actually filled out a net seller sheet before. Don't get scared. I'm not gonna ask you to do it. We're gonna do it together. But I want to know, because I've got some mixed answers on this. When do you actually do your net seller sheet?
At the listing presentation.
You do at the listing, okay. Yeah, but you take it to the listing. So I should say, when you present it to them. So you present it to them at the listing presentation. I heard that. So I know a top producing agent, she does 3. She does 3 seller net sheets. Who can guess? You got one at the listing presentation. She brings it.
When for each contract presented, let's say if you have multiple offers.
No, but once they go under contract, she'll do another one. And I'm telling you this up front because you'll see when we do it, depending on where you are, the numbers could change. Because don't prorated taxes change depending on when it goes under contract, the time of the month it goes under contract. What if they did an amendment to address concerns and the seller now wants, the buyer wants them more closing costs, or they want to change something. Or, they want you to pay for something. Wouldn't that change their bottom line? So she says she does it once they go under contract. So that's the second time. And when would be the third time? Right before closing. Once all contingencies are met, there's no hiccups ready. We got about a week or so out from closing. She'll do the final one just to make sure, they still, they're good. And typically they are, but she just wants to she don't want no surprises at the table, none of that, right? So she does 3. She does 3. You choose how you want to do it. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. That's why I brought up the personality types. Was my practice. I would only do a net seller sheet. I would bring it, and I would always bring it, but I'm not whipping it out unless I see you are S-type or C-type personality. If I can see you, that you're like, man, you're just throwing a number out there. I can feel it. And then I'm like, well, here, if I'm not getting your buy-in, then I'm bringing it out and saying, yeah, so see, this, you got to think of this, and this, and this is what your net will be, and this is how that gets broken down. And this can change. This is very preliminary. This is just based on, a sale price of this, and, so these numbers can change, and I can update it for you, but that's the only time I will bring it out. And I'll show you some stuff. You'll see why in a little bit too. Like, trust me. All right. Does everybody have one yet? Nicole didn't come back. All right. So anyway, while we're getting any questions about seller net sheet? Nope. Y'all ready to dive in? Everybody got a pen? We're gonna fill one out together, like a little workshop. So first, thanks, Nicole. So first, and foremost, seller, now, I don't know if you guys go into MLS or FMLS. I am, from old school, I'm Georgia MLS all day. Like, I don't even know my FMLS log. To be honest. So, don't, look, you can, either one, you still can get to these forms, all right? So I go in here, I go in Georgia MLS, however you get to your, some of you guys might go through command. However you get in there, just find this estimated seller net sheet is what it's called.
You're in Georgia MLS right now?
I am,
He's in transaction desk.
Okay.
yeah.
My favorite. I don't do anything there. I don't even know how to do it.
Your golf forms are in
I
DocuSign
get
as
to
well.
remind.
Yes, everything is there.
Somebody tell me what's the name on that thing.
Estimate of net to seller.
It's F837.
What is it?
F837.
Needed.
There's gravel.
Go back to the form. Just go to 837.
Yes.
Just this one.
All over good.
Oh, I know why I'm not able to find it. Hold on, guys. I'm in under the office thing. And we don't have phones.
It's the using ATP.
Man, somebody come along, man. I don't know my stuff. I don't know how to get in.
I don't use transaction desk. So
But do you use Georgia MLS?
I do Georgia MLS, but I can't get you through transaction. Cause I don't use it. I use DocuSign. The forms in DocuSign is a lot easier to get to.
Yeah, but I'm.
I know nothing you, I was talking.
Yeah, just pull that form up, please. However you get to it, get to the form, I don't care. And make it where I can fill it out. That's all I need. It's just use the. All right. So while he's pulling that up, what we're gonna do is, you are gonna need your phone as a calculator. And we're gonna actually fill out, I'm gonna give you some mock numbers, and we're gonna actually fill out, estimated net to sell. We don't need this, I just want it because we got some people on Zoom. So I wanna put it on the screen too, so that they can follow along, because they don't have one of these, they're not here.
Yeah, it's not recording. It's not on, is it on?
Yes, it should be.
Cause I had it on the whole time.
Well, Casey was just in here doing it.
Oh.
Does everybody have one of these? a seller net sheet. All right, if you just came in, make sure they get that. Pass it all the way around and give Christine one. Keep passing it. She's in the red jacket. It's coming, Christine.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why we can't write contract. Look how long it takes us to get to the contracts. Rob, he's doing the same thing. See, it ain't just me. Guess what he's doing? Looking up his password. Nobody jumped in here and look. Yeah, that's all I said. Somebody come and log into our email. Right, we should have got one of the newbies. I know they know their password. Robert, you don't know? You got it? Okay, he got it. But so listen, what's funny is this. So I had Sherry Pedersen here about 3 weeks ago, maybe even a month now, and the same thing happened, didn't it? She couldn't log. Dana had to log in to hers, and she had to look it up.
Yeah, everybody had to look it up.
It's automatically saved. We don't use it. I know.
I should say we don't use it, so.
No, yeah, not often enough. It's saved. Yeah, it's on every computer.
Yeah.
It's on my laptop. It's, you hit save password. That's why I should.
No, I haven't.
I wasn't thinking. I should have said, who's the newest agent in the room? Come log in, George. Yes, please. That's what you did.
And just keep all your passwords. I got it broken down for email and KW.com.
Yes.
If you keep it on your Google Drive, you can look it up on your phone, on your tablet.
Oh, that's one.
Because trust me, you're gonna get caught. I'm here.
Create a spreadsheet, it's easy.
Yeah, I like that, Dana, because you're gonna need it.
Also, if you're using your Gmail account, if you log into Gmail, Gmail will save it for you and it'll go across, no matter if you're logged in Gmail, no matter where you are, you can pull up your password.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we here? What time? All right, so Rob is in now. You turn this.
Yeah, it's just all.
Rob is in. F837, right? Yep, F837. All right, cool.
Did you say SH or?
No, F. No, F. It's at the bottom. Every form has a number at the bottom. All right. All right, so Rob is pulling that up. You guys have the same form in front of you. I'm more so doing this for the people on Zoom.
Is it being recorded?
Yes, this is being recorded. Oh, Rob
You can
got
leave that
one.
stuff in there.
Yeah. All right, Rob's got one.
Does it do the calculations for you on this one?
Yes.
Okay.
It does the calculations for you on, I know on Georgia MLS, and I'm assuming that's what Rob went in.
It does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. Transaction, that's it.
On the transaction, the form is 4817.
Yeah.
It's the same form.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna calculate?
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
All right, so, all right, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Now, Rob had some numbers already filled in on there. We're not going by those. So what we're gonna do is fill this out. So on seller, I just put John Doe. You're gonna put John Doe in your seller. And the date prepared is today. Today's the 17th. We're gonna go line by line. All right. And today's the 17th. 10/17. 2023. We went under contract, and the projected close date, we're gonna put November the 10th. On the projected close date. Friday. Since we're doing this, I'm just gonna say this too. I never used to actually schedule closings on Friday. Who can say why? No. Not in this market center, girl, no. No, that's a good one.
That's good.
But no, the reason why is if you're closing, then don't you have little stuff that comes up? Like just little stuff, right? Yeah. So you want, you need that extra
Anything-
buffer
anything
day
come up.
just for any little thing
Yeah,
that
anything
they,
come up.
So if it's Friday and something comes up, you're screwed.
you're screwed for the whole
But if
weekend.
it's Wednesday and something comes up, you close Friday.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. And trust me, I've had people have stuff on their truck on a Friday, and the closing didn't happen. I can put you up for one night, but putting you up for a whole weekend and all that can get costly, exactly. So the address is 123 ABC Street. We can leave it in Decatur. Rob got that in there already. And then the tax bill month paid, let's just have that, January. All right. And then the county, we'll just say that's the cab. And now let's get to the meat of this thing. All right, so our sales price. Simple, right? We're just putting the sales price, we're gonna put 350,000 right there.
That's where I just want to go back. What made you put January for the month? Tax bill paid, and so we been breaking everything down.
Yeah, I just did it at the top of the year, but sometimes tax bills are paid like what, November? It just depends. A lot of times if you escrowing it, it'll already be, in your mortgage, and then just did January. I just did January just for numbers. All right, so 350,000 is our sales price. First mortgage principal balance after payment. So this is how much they still owe. This is their payoff amount. All right, this is their payoff amount. This is why it's so important for you to have your clients get their payoff amount. All right, and most times we ask, what are they gonna say? I owe about, right? Or they may give you they may look up their last statement, right? And then that can change a little bit too. So I always used to tell them, order a payoff amount. A lot of times they could get it sent to them really quick. And then that way you'll have it. But anyway, the payoff amount is 248,000. All right. Failure, yeah, you can write it in if you want, or you can follow. So failure to pay, failure to notify bank penalty, that's typically when you're dealing with like a hard money or something like that. That's almost like special financing. Most mortgage companies and stuff will not have one of those. So we're just gonna put 0 there. Prepayment penalty. You gotta find out from their bank, do they have a prepayment penalty? Now, most banks don't, but some do, depending on how they got in there. Like banks want to make their money too, right? So if they don't finish off the life of the loan, or at least have the loan for a certain amount of time, guess what? They may have those penalties. And even going back to number 3, now that I think about penalties, sometimes if your clients use a down payment assistance program and they sell it before 10 years and they gave them money up front, guess what they want back when you sell it if you didn't live in it for that long? They want some of that money back. So that could possibly go in that failure to notify, or you can wait to the very end and put it under other. So anyway, we're assuming this one didn't have a prepayment penalty. So we're gonna put 0 there. Now we're gonna go into accrued interest. So the principal balance is 248,000. That's what they still owe. So we're gonna move that number and put it down here. We're gonna say that they bought at a really good time, so their interest rate is 3.5%. All right, so now we need our calculators. So we're gonna do the principal balance, which is the 248,000. And it tells you right here, I don't know why on Rob, I can't see it, but it tells you to times it on your sheet by the rate. So 248,000 times 3.5%. What's that number?
8680.
What is it?
8680.
8,000.
Okay, 8680. So now we're gonna take 8680. Majority of us deal with what? FHA loans. We do have conventionals too, but we're gonna use 365. So now we're gonna take that 8680 divided by 365. And what number do we get?
2378.
2378. And now we're gonna times that by the number of days until we close. Now, the number of days that you're looking for typically is from the first of the month. So if you're closing on the 15th, or if you're closing on the 10th, or something like, so if we're closing November, we would go November and add 10 days, because it's gonna be 10 days there, right? I think I put 15 on my sheet, so we're gonna use the number 15 right there. So just put 15 days till closing. And like I said, not from when they went under contract or anything like that. It's from when they made that last payment, right? When that payment was due. That payment was due on November 1st, and we're closing 15 days into November. That's why we put 15 right there.
Okay, so I got this wrong before. We're not putting it from now to we're backing it up to the first of the month.
Right, because that's when you receive the payoff amount. You know, the payoff is typically good until that next payment. All right. So if you're looking at, so you're putting that number in there. So we're saying 15, right? So now we're taking, what was the number, Larry?
2378.
All right, times 15 days, and that number goes on the line. What's that number?
356.771.
All right, 356. Got it. All right, now, there is no second mortgage on this property, just one primary mortgage. If there was a second lien holder, you would have to put that there. I'm glad we're going through this sheet because also sellers tend to get amnesia sometimes. When they take out a second mortgage you don't want any surprises. So make sure you always ask when you go on, when they tell you their payoff. Yeah, they may tell you to pay off to the big bank, but they forget they got a solid second or a second more, like they don't always like to tell you that. And so that they don't get surprised and you don't be surprised, remind them, say, hey, bro, any chance did you do a home equity line of credit? Did you take out a second mortgage? Did you do any renovations or something like that? Did you do any HELOC to do a new roof? Because they'll forget about that. They'll think it's not gonna come up, right? Or they'll think the first lien holder is the ones that's paying them. That first mortgage holder is only concerned about their mortgage. They don't care nothing about anything else. But it's gonna come up when title gets pulled. So So it's always a good practice to kind of say, hey, did you get any improvements done on the house that you took out a loan for? Yes, Terry.
So if they had a, down payment assistance, that's considered the second mortgage, is that correct?
Mm-mm. That's, I mean, on some, it could be a solid second, depending on which program, but most of those programs, after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, they don't have to pay that if they sell the house. It's only if they're selling the house quick that you typically run into that.
Okay, so if they are selling it quickly before that 10 years, or if they've been, making the payments and they're selling in 3 years, where would that number go?
I would put it either under, to be honest, number 3, where it says failure to notify bank penalty, because it's a penalty.
Okay.
Or you'll see at the very bottom, there's like 3 lines that says other.
Okay.
You see those?
Yep.
So you can put stuff there, right? Because there's different things that happen, It could be a divorce situation, right? And somebody gotta pay the spouse half or whatever, right? So you can put that down there too. So there's situations where there's gonna be other deductions that may come out from that the seller would have to pay.
Okay.
All right, because DPA, I wouldn't consider it a second mortgage because you're not paying on it or anything like that, but it is a penalty that could happen if they're selling it faster. All right,
Would it be under the payout? How would we see that?
what, no, if you gotta, I mean, that's one of those surprises that can come up, right? Because where is that gonna show? It'll come up when title gets pulled, possibly, but not, they have to tell you that, right? So that's why it's good to talk and ask questions. I saw a hand up over here. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just going back real quick, just to verify, so the number of days to closing, you said 15, so we're starting from the 10th, right? Today,
No, when I did my math, yeah, when I did my math, I went from, I just put 15 days in there, first of all, this closing date I didn't put. But I said, as if it was closing on the 15th, so I went from the 1st of the month to 15 days in. Yeah, I went from the 1st of the month, 15 days in, as if there was a closing on the 15th. I should have put 10 right there. Yeah.
So you always base it off of the month that they want to close.
Yeah, because that's when the payoff is good through. Now, you see what I'm saying? Now they're paying interest on those other days, but they already have a payoff that's saying before that. Does that make sense? All right. So, all right, let's go to number 7 now. So now, on number 7, accrued interest on the second mortgage, remember we said we don't have that. So we're gonna put a 0 there. All right, and then on number 8, there's a subtitle there. And you see, it did do the math for you. It's kind of shaded out. You might can't hardly see it on the screen. But that number is $248,356.71. So right now, based on them selling this house, that's what would be paid, right? Now, let's get into cost of sale. Every seller has these, all right? Seller's contribution at closing, let's say they're giving $5,000. They'll put 5,000 on that line. And then let's look at unpaid property taxes. So we're gonna say their annual taxes were, that's number 10, is $2,200 a year. It's their annual taxes. All right. And then we're gonna divide that by 365 times the number of days from January 1st to closing. And this is where you're gonna have to, for those of you that just came out of school, what was that trick that they gave you? January 3rd, what is it?
January
is 31, February is 28, March is 31, April
All
is
your couples.
yeah, and then when you get to June and July, they're both 30.
Alright, no, so look, I love that. I didn't have that luxury, so this morning when I was preparing for the class, I got my calendar out and I was like 31, 28, 30, and then I added them all up. And I came up with 313 days. But now you can see why you went through that at school, right? So you can help your clients out on taxes and stuff like that. So we're gonna, well, we missed one step. So 2,200 divided by 365 is what? $6? It's like 602, right? Yeah, so 602. All right. Right, so 602, $6.02 times the number of days from January 1st to closing. That was 313. Well, I got 313. I might, my math might.
To the 10th or you going to the 15th?
What do you mean?
Of the close date.
Oh, no, I did it to the 10th. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did it to the 10th, guys. My close date was set for the 10th. Why I put 15, I think I was thinking half the month or something and didn't even pay attention that I did the thing on the 10th. So January 1st to closing, which is the 10th, I estimated it closing on November 10th. And I got 313. If my number's off, what's the right number? What y'all say? But she did it to the 15th. No, the 10th is on here at the top. So that's the safest number. So right.
Number of days.
Right. 602 times 313. 1884.26. That's the number. I'm gonna put 313 there. 26. 26 and 26 cents. All right. I stuck it in there. It's on the board. And now, any special assessments? When do we typically see special assessments? HOAs.
Street lighting.
HOAs for like condos and stuff.
Yeah, condos, yeah.
Because they do special assessment is, oh, we have to put $10,000 to the side because we're gonna be doing a new roof in the next 3 years. Right?
The city has special assessments as well, sidewalks.
Oh, that's
Street
right.
lights.
So it can be single family if you're in the city. See, that's why I'm glad you're here. You do a lot of city. So special assessments is if the homeowner had to put money aside towards something. They do, I know Tucker just had they've been doing a lot of CIDs lately. With, mostly it affects businesses, commercial improvement districts. However, homeowners in the city, they go through that too, right? They're widening sidewalks and stuff like that. They might have a special assessment and they'll know because they would have put the money in there or it would have had to go, but
It could be.
So you're supposed to tell us, we're supposed to ask them.
we have
We
to.
won't see it on anything.
No.
They won't disclose.
Could be because of remodeling.
Yeah, remodel. Yeah. What do you mean? Would it be in the disclosure? No, this right here is strictly for the seller. And you guys asked the question, that was a good question. Are they the ones that's gonna tell us this? Absolutely, but we have to, because this sheet is for them. If they lie to you about this, then they're gonna get less money. Or if they're not forthcoming with something, they're gonna get less money, but at least you are knowing the questions to ask. Now, remember I said, I rarely use the net sheet. I would take it and I would have it, but I didn't have to bring it out a whole lot. But I did make sure I asked them these questions though. Like, I might not have it out in front of them or whatever, but I knew based on this sheet, you have a second one. Do you have, because I'm telling you, I've been in situations where they tell me this 248 number, but they took out a HELOC of $50,000 that they just forgot to tell me about.
Right.
Like, really? Because guess who they're dealing with most of the time? Their mortgage company, the first lien holder. That's who they're paying their mortgage to, all of that. The second lien holder can't foreclose on you.
Right.
So they can not pay them and they be like, yeah. You know, they can put a lien on a house or something, but they don't have to even deal with a second lien holder. Right? Because they're not in first position. But whenever they sell that property, guess who get paid? The second lien holder. And they gotta get their money. Right? First lien holder first. Whatever's left goes to the second lien holder. So they get amnesia when it comes to that. And trust me, I've been in that situation. Even when you ask, sometimes you'll find yourself in that situation, but you should ask. So you can at least tell them, well, I asked. All right, so special assessment, we said that there wasn't any. Surveys. Now I had an attorney that used to say he would get a survey on every single listing that he took. That he would get a survey on it. I never did it, but he said I wouldn't buy a house or sell, I want to know my land without getting a survey. So if the seller's not gonna pay for it for the buyer, then the buyer has to pay for it. I think he said it was his buyers that he would always get a survey on. But I think that's something that he would ask the seller to pay for. So that's probably why it's on here. But we don't do it a lot in these days, so put a 0 there. But I'm just trying to explain to you guys why all this stuff is on here. Because some buyers may start to ask you for surveys. You just never know. So home inspection, repairs, and cleanup. Now, remember I said the top agent she does one prepare before she goes to the listing. Now on that one, are we really gonna have this number on here? Probably not. Now, we could in our mind just have a rule of thumb that we're gonna put $2,000 on that line and just tell them, say, hey, look, this is for if anything comes through, you might have to do some touch-up painting, do some flooring for them or whatever, because every buyer is gonna do what? A home inspection. You might have to change some GF3s, whatever those, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you may have to change some of that stuff out. So you explain that to them at that time. So let's just put a buffer in here, you know? So you could put it, but I was doing this based on if we had a real contract. So I put $1,950 in there. 1,950.
Why did you choose that one?
I don't know. I don't, because so I want you to know where that number comes from though, especially when you went under contract and this is like that final one, look, you know, the week before closing, so your past contingencies. This is once the buyer have went through, did their home inspection, they came back with that amendment to address concerns, right? They came back with that and they want some stuff done. Yeah, they want, some touch-up paint done, change the siding over here. They got some legitimate concerns and you gotta pay for that.
Now, are you putting that in your listing? When you put it on FMLS, are you putting, because some people will put, the seller is willing to do repairs, no?
No. I'm just, if I'm giving them this up front, if I'm going over this with them up front, Dawn, if I'm going over this with them up front, I'm just putting that number in. I'm not sharing that with anybody else. This is for me and my sellers. Right. And I'm just telling them, this is an estimate. And they may say, well, I ain't got to worry about that. My home's immaculate. Cool, let's take it out. You get 2,000 more. It's just an estimate. All right, this ain't gonna be to the letter, trust me. And you'll see in a minute. That's why I want you guys writing this down, because I'm gonna share something else with you and you'll be able to look at it. All right, who can estimate what the real estate broker fee, how much? Oh my God, you got that one right. All right, now, but 21,000. I'm gonna pause right here. Because I'm gonna tell y'all why I would always prepare this. But remember I said a lot of times I didn't like bring it out unless I knew I needed it. Unless I'm dealing with a high S or high C. Because the biggest number always on the sheet, unless there's a second loan, outside of the what's left on their mortgage, the biggest number on this sheet is on the cost of sales is the realtor fees.
And you always get
Trust me.
change the fund. Action change.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So that lets me know you do it. I'm telling you guys that. So I'm just saying, when you whip it out, you better be ready to defend that number, possibly, right? High C's and stuff, they probably won't, and that's why I don't. They just want to know, right? They just kind of want to know. That they've already known they gotta pay. You didn't say nothing new. They know they're paying 6%. It's just seeing that number. High C's are okay with that. S's are okay with that. S's are like, hey, you put your word. C's are like, I don't care. I already knew it. I just want to see it. I want to know. D's and I's, they might switch up on you right then and there. I want to take it off the market. Like I'm telling you, they'll come with something crazy. So just know your audience, guys, that you're doing, that you're doing it with. But it ain't no secret. You gotta pay. All right, they gotta pay. So document preparation fees, if it's FHA or VA. This one was stumped me. I was like, man, I ain't never seen nothing right there. But I talked to Carlton about it. What Carlton said was sometimes, typically all of those fees for FHA and VA is on the borrower side with their lender, right? But there could be certain documents that the seller that the buyer need from the seller that has to be drawn up by an attorney. He said they're usually $25 per document. And he said it's usually no more than 3 to 5 to 6 documents, if that. And it's not every loan. He said, so basically, if it's something to clear title, if you need something to clear title, that FHA, and if you guys know, FHA and VA are government-backed loans. They're a little stricter than most. So if there's something that needs to be cleared for that title to go, right, like a termite letter or something, thank you. That's puts in layman's terms, termite letter. That's the number one that you'll mostly see a lot. If the attorney has to draw that up, $25. So you will put that on there, all right? Because they're gonna need it, all right? But I left it 0.
Termite letter, otherwise known as the Georgia Wood Infestation Report. That's what it's officially called, but we call it the termite letter.
Right. That's why he's our tech.
Georgia Wood Infestation Report.
All right, so number 16, prorated rent to buyer. When will we need that? That and there's one other one. Temporary occupancy, or if we're dealing with an investor or somebody like that. And this was an investment property that the seller is selling, and they have a tenant in there. And the tenant like has paid them, you would put that number there. So anything that's got to do with if there's a rent situation with this particular property. Whatever, while I own the property, if somebody gave me money to hold, deposit, prorate, anything like that, then I'm giving it back. But also, if you want to stay in the house. And then here it is, security deposit. So number 17. Like I said, if this was an investment property, they had a tenant in there, and you have a client, an investor that's buying an investment property from someone that already has a tenant in it, there's typically a deposit somewhere. that seller needs to give that deposit now to the new owner. If that tenant is staying in the house, if that tenant is in that house when they close, that deposit needs to go to the new buyer. All right, that needs to go, so that they may have a deposit that they're holding. You gotta let them know, if you spent it, you need to put it on here, because you gotta give it to them. All right, so we put 0 though. And then HOA, closing fees to the seller. This is like the HOA letter, like, trust me, it used to be only with condos and stuff. Every HOA is gonna charge something to give that HOA letter, right? And the HOA letter consists of what, like saying this property is cool, they're up to date and all that, like they could just give you that stuff for free. But they're like, all they do is go to a computer and they charge you I put $325. So put $325 on that line, but it varies depending on, I've seen some way higher than that. Like highway robbery. So I put $325 on that line. And so now, I'll help you with the math. Now our number on number 22 is $30,159.26. Right. 21,000 is so all right, so now let's go to the credits. Look how short the credits is for me. So now let's go to the credits. So the prepaid property tax, so the annual taxes, what did we say the annual taxes were? 2,200, so we're gonna put that on that line. On line 23, we're gonna put 2,200 there. And we're gonna divide that by 365. So 2,200 divided by 365, what did we say that was? 602. And we're gonna times that by the number of days left from the closing date, which I said was November the 10th, through December 31st.
52, you said 13.
Yeah. I have 52, but my math could be off. So I put 52 there. And that number, so now we gotta take the 602 times the number of days from closing to December 31st, 52. So 313 of their taxes they're gonna get back. That they paid in taxes, they're gonna receive that back. A credit anyway, not back. They're gonna receive a credit for it. Now, if their mortgage insurance, if their taxes and stuff are paid, tax and insurance is paid through their mortgage, then their mortgage company is gonna send them a check, usually within 20 to 30 days for all their escrows. Right, so they might not get this at the table, but they'll get credit for it at the table, and then any overages they'll get back for the insurance and all of that. So it's called an escrow refund, and that would be on number 24, on line 24, we would put that there, their escrow, but that varies. They get that number from their lender tells them that. All right. So if we go, so we'll put 0 there. And then we would get 0 in other. We didn't have any other special stuff going on. So that comes out to their only credits they get is $313.42. So their estimated net to seller is $71,797.55. And all the calculations, as you plug these numbers in, they're done for you, as you can see on the sheet.
Is there a way to make this a little bigger?
On this thing,
What's the number for 23?
$313.42.
Can you, go over all the number again from
I'll give you this. I have the numbers on here.
See the current now.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the number. I'll give you the numbers on here. I'll give it to you. So now I want to say something because I saw it in the room, and maybe it's because we're in the class and we want to make sure that we understand and know it. You will never be to the penny on this. There's so, as you can tell, there's so many factors. So you have to make sure, especially with the people that want to see it, the sellers that want to see it. What did I say? They're high S's, high C's, right? They're very analytical, right? That's why they want to see this. So you have to be sure to use language like this is an estimate. You know, the numbers change. Even you know, if we close on a different day, that could change it. You know, if payoff. I mean, there's just so many things that can change this, right? But you typically will be in the ballpark. And I had to test myself and see if I still had it. So this document, and you may have to share this if you're sitting close to someone, just share it because we only have 10. I should have had Nicole make some more of these. I could get some more. You and Larry can share. Just pass them in, and y'all might look on it and share. Let me see one. Let me get one back. So what I'm passing out now is I gave Carlton the closing date. I gave Carlton the sales price of the house, all of that stuff, right? And so he did this for me and sent a preliminary settlement statement. This is a preliminary settlement statement. So we did this, and then this is what the buyer will get, what, 2 days before closing, 3 days before closing? 2 days before closing. And Carlton came out with net proceeds to, where are you at? Yes, balance to sell it. Yep, 71,406, and we were at 71,797. You think our seller gonna be mad at us for $300? You were Carlton probably used 15 days though. But you see what I'm saying? That's where you should come in, and sometimes you may even be 1,000 or 2,000 off. But that's close, guys. Trust me. Things can tell you, and if you do start to use this and share it, or even if you don't, you need one. If you do it, guys, even if you don't share it with the seller, you see how excited I was when I said, man, I still got it. You need to do that for yourself where, okay, I did the net sheet. I ain't have to show it. I'm telling you, if you never have to show it to them, just thank God. I ain't have to go there. It was good. But you should do it so that you could see where you may have been off at. You know, something you didn't ask correctly or something you forgot. Or there's a lot of zeros that we put on here because those are special situations. But that don't mean those don't come up for people. So if it comes up for you and you didn't put it in there, now you know a new question you may have to ask or a different way to ask, right? You see what I mean? So you keep this and then you say, okay, I came up with 71. Man, they got 80 something back. Where did I go wrong? To yourself, just so you get better and sharpen your skills. All right. So for that reason, I would definitely do them, but I wouldn't be just whipping it out on everybody. I'm telling you. But have it, be prepared, have it. Because a lot of people don't. That agent also told me that people would say, man, they didn't even have a CMA. I didn't have a breakdown. I didn't know what I was paying for. I didn't know what I was getting. So you don't want to be that person. You know, you want to have it and you want to just read the room. All right. Was this helpful?
Yes, it was.
Ma'am?
Questions?
Yes, please, we got time.
Here?
Uh-huh,
I want to get on film.
uh-huh,
So when I go to do, because I currently have a listing,
mm-hmm,
and so I was trying to get the price of the home, you know, so I did my comparables.
right, your CMA.
I did do a CMA, and I sent them a CMA report.
Mhm.
However, I'm kind of stuck on which number, because CMA report I did, it doesn't really say this is what you should tell them.
It gives you a range, right?
It gives me a range,
Right.
so I'm just kind of moving up from the house that's currently in that area on the market right now is 275. But my person has added some stuff, so then I just said maybe 290.
Well, I would never suggest a list price of what's actively on the market. I would never do that. Yeah, yeah. You want to go by sold. You,
So, okay. But they have a 2-car garage, so I'm kind of getting, you know, they're 300, and then this one that's currently on is 275.
I wouldn't worry about that one. Only way I would look at that one,
That's just over 3. They're in 3.
I would look at the two, so there's something vastly different about that. But I would look at the 275 only so that I can be competitive. I wouldn't price it about with that. I'm telling you, I would not price it based off what's currently on the market.
So they could change, they could like. they could-
Absolutely. They don't mean they're gonna get it. They can list it for
It's been
500.
on
Don't mean,
27 days.
yeah, I wouldn't.
So the one that sold on the thing, short amount of days on the market.
And was it?
But I did in a.
Yeah.
Within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a time.
Mark, so,
Different summer.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you mentioned 2-car garage versus what yours have a 1-car garage?
No, my property does not have a garage at
Right.
all, but they.
Carport. Yeah, they added one? You said they added a carport?
They added, some little driveway kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. Sound like the new person's gonna tear that down. I mean, yeah, you can't. Right. Where do they wanna be? Have you asked them, what were they thinking? If you asked him, where did he come up with that? Said what, you should ask him, where did he come up?
He's just hoping to get at least 300.
Oh, yeah,
But
so
that
that's
wasn't even looking at anything, this
Yeah.
is first time selling.
No, I understand. Yeah, I would 100%. I don't know if I would push them. I would go with the 290 just based on that 275, unless you, I wouldn't base it on that. You have to dig a little bit deeper and even see when the last time something in that neighborhood had to sell. That's just a small neighborhood.
Yeah.
Something has to have sold. You just might, yeah, neighborhood.
My parents are crazy. I know this.
And then I'm gonna go outside of a building neighborhood first.
Yeah, absolutely. Start with your neighborhood. Cause that 300 is way off. It sounds like it anyway.
Yeah, because it's in a city that has a little bit more than. Well, yeah, I did 1 mile. Thank you for having me on.
Y'all are welcome. Thank y'all for coming. Thanks for participating too. Y'all guys made it fun.